Trendz Travel would like to welcome you into the new year 2022. It's a brand new year, time for a fresh start, new beginnings, new things to explore and places to go. As we sit and reflect, here's some of the things we got up to last year. First, we take you on a trip to a castle in the northwest. Umhlabuya Lingana in KZN has a lot of hidden gems for you to find. As you clean out your closets, remember you don't have to throw away your old denims. They can be recycled into lovely items. All that planning for the new year can be overwhelming, so why not stop and smell the roses at Ludwig's farm? Grab your snacks and enjoy the show.
We all have dreams of living in a castle and doing that royal life, even for a day or two. What if I told you it was all possible? All you have to do is make a turn to the northwest, Rustenburg to be precise, for that royal staycation.
So this is our reception. In our reception we've got a painting of the owner and his wife, Mr. and Mrs. Fenton. It wasn't painted, it was airbrushed. Alright, so the only original things that you can see here is the roof. It was like that when they bought the place. And then, yeah, everything that you see was handmade by Ms. Fenton, the decor she bought on my Facebook Marketplace and on auctions. But all the decorations she's done by herself. So we'll see a bit more about that just now. The Mrs. Fenton, she's still here on the day-to-day runnings. So this is the Excalibur Dome. Again, the roof is originally, they bought it with the roof painted like that. In the middle here we had a pool, but they took out the pool to create more floor space. So normally we use this for your dinners, lunch, especially when it's cold or raining outside and we can't use the garden. But we can also host weddings, functions inside here. It can take about 80 guests at a time. So this we've got the chapel here in front. When we don't have a wedding, we use it as a romantic corner for couples. So we close the doors at the back, we switch off the lights, we lit all the candles, so that is very, very romantic. This is the Uthapin Dragon Hall. Seats about up to 700 people, so we use it for weddings and conferences, your matric farewells, especially if you put out the red carpet from the front door. Looks very pretty. So we've got the medieval costume hire as well. So this is just a few examples of what we've got. So yeah, if you want, you can book a venue, maybe a private venue, dress up and just go through the whole medieval style.
I can already pick an outfit for myself.
Is it?
I love this one.
It's very nice. Very nice.
So me.
And it fits the part. It fits the theme. Yeah. So that's quite nice.
And then
you can. Let's get a photo of you inside. Yeah, we don't. This is actually fully functional still, but we don't hire it out with a horse because we want to keep it like that and a feature in the hall, especially for photo booths and stuff like that.
Such a beautiful photo booth.
Yes.
Starting to get the whole
Experience. Yes. You're feeling medieval.
Right.
So you can go upstairs here to the bedroom and the bathroom.
The royal experience isn't complete without a king's suite. A bedroom fit for a royal stay, completed with attention to details.
So this is the King Arthur private dining. It can accommodate 10 people. And then we also have the Queen Guinevere private dining next door. It can also accommodate 10 people, so it's nice for that girls and gents evening together, or lunch or breakfast together.
Question, so are they named after a certain?
Yes, so in the King Arthur legacy, King Arthur was the running king after his father, and then Queen Guinevere, she was actually a servant, and then the two of them fell in love. So when the father passed away, King Arthur took over, and then Queen Guinevere, he married Guinevere, so Guinevere became his king. So that's why it fits together, king and queen.
Yes, king and queen.
Yes.
Oh, love it.
And now for the brightest room in the castle. The indoor garden themed space where all those royal parties come to life. And after a long tour of the castle, some pampering was in order. After all, how can we say no to the king and queen's orders? This is definitely what the soft life is all about.
The area of Mhlabiyalingana is famed for traditional African medicine. The royal family of the Tonga people of the area says that's one of the reasons tourists would come from far and wide to explore what's here. Members of the Dembe royal family also own a lodge here.
Kosi Bay Lake, that's the only place that you'll find people doing fishing traditionally. Go and do your research. We call it fish crawls and fish traps. It's the only place in the world that fishing is done the way I'm explaining to you. Then apart from that, Big Five is just at our doorstep. We've got our own private gate, which we applied for, which make it convenient for our visitors and guests. Apart from that, we are known as the best place for traditional healers. Zangomas, Inyangas.
Beyond that, trees and their fruits play many roles here. I'm told all the trees in this particular area serve a particular purpose. Think the marula plant, for example, where the fruits can be alcohol. There are rare fruits as well that can be juice for children. But I'm also told that a lot of trees here have medicinal purposes as well.
We've got something that we call palm wine. In Zulu, they say in German. Nice drink, no chemicals. Then we've got once a year, we celebrate Amarula Wukanu in Zulu, Amarula Festival, where we draw more than 30,000 people international. But due to COVID, we have stopped it until everything is back to normal. Apart from that, our cuisine here is quite different from Durban or Cape Town or Joburg. Here we're talking about curry from peanuts, dumbis, batata.
The Zulu pod tree, it has the berries that you can find on the tree as well. And we normally, when we are young, we are using this tree that we found, the berries that we have found on the Zulu pod tree, that we make a juice with it. So we just collect those berries and we mix with water, no sugar. They're so sweet as it is. Then you mix it with water, then you can drink it. Normally the children, they love it because they love the things that are very sweet.
The lands of the Tonga are probably most remembered in history because it's where Inzila of King Shaka of the Zulu fled to when the king died. When here, one also learns about the ways and cultures of the locals. Once you've seen all the wild animals that this area has to offer, you can also experience the culture of the Tonga people found here in northern KwaZulu-Natal and stretching all the way to southern Mozambique. They're dancing behind me. Maybe I'll join them a bit later on. Even though closely related to the Zulu found south of here, the Tonga's way of drumming and dancing and singing has a style of its own. Once done with lessons of culture, you can be sure that the Big Five can be found on game drives here. Well, if you go at the right time of the day. We were not so lucky on our game drive. We went at about midday, the worst time of the day. But we did see an elephant.
Really, this is an absolute beauty. It is a World Heritage Site, and it has the most amazing coastline. And it really is a sleeping giant, so to speak. So we are encouraging South Africans to explore it, to enjoy it, because it really is for all of us to enjoy.
So I wasn't really expecting anything much, but when I went out this morning, I was hugely surprised. Seeing those 7 lions was the epic moment of my life.
The royal family here says they want tourism money to trickle down to the community.
I believe in prosperity through heritage. You use what you have to get what you don't have. So with what we have here, bush experience and marine experience made me think about that concept. And it was important for me, being in leadership, of this area, to show the way for, for our people. Because we'll find people bowing for us, but what are we doing for them? That's the biggest question.
The Mhlabuyalingana area still attracts a lot of international tourists, some of whom have slowly started returning. But those in the sector here say they want more locals to come and see nature, explore the Tonga culture, and relax away from busy city lives.
You can either dress them up or dress them down, whatever the occasion. Denim jeans transform the look. Denim may be durable, but like everything else, after a while, it does get old. So, if you still want to hang on to your denim, it can be turned into beautiful items like bags, hats, and some home accessories.
When jeans come to us, it goes through a whole process, and our team decides on which area those jeans go to. So if a jean comes in and it's a good quality jean, those jeans will be sold by our micro businesses, of which we have 108, and 56 of those are mothers of children with disabilities. So this is part of our micro business development program. And in essence, it is community women taking pre-loved clothes to their communities and resell it there so that they can make a living.
This place in Centurion, north of Johannesburg, is where they recycle and upcycle your old clothing items.
Tammy, I've got my jeans here to donate. So you will take me through the process as to how it works.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So one of my team members will come and get your bag, and that will be weighed and the items will be counted so that we can give back the statistics on exactly what you brought. And so Unika, you can just weigh that.
And after weighing?
After weighing, then the team will go through the bag and they will decide which items would go into which different levels, and then she will do that now for us. All of these, so these jeans would go to the toy factory, right, Onika? And these jeans would go to?
This one is unusable.
Okay, to unusable because they are really torn. Okay, yeah. We try and use everything that we can. So this jean, for instance, we will cut out a bean bag from this, and so the top part we usually use to make bags. We have non-profit partners that would use the top part to make different kind of products, especially bags.
You can make a bag out of this?
We can make a bag out
No
of that.
way.
Yes, we can. So, and it becomes a beautiful bag because it's really just cut off there, sewn together, and it gets a strap. Yes, these are jeans that's been cut up in strips by our team of people with disabilities, and she is weaving on a weaving frame. And our dream and some of the products that's been at the pop-up store was also weaved by a lady and her team who has a child with autism. People with disabilities would cut blocks, for instance. The next step would be that those blocks would then be ironed onto what we call interfacing. then it will become a panel like that. And then the whole bag will be the bag that you saw at the pop-up store. That would then become the bag.
Most of the women who work here have children living with disabilities and can't afford to work from home. This project has benefited them in a major way.
The Codes to Goods, they have given us the opportunity whereby, especially since we deal with kids with disability from home, so it has given us the privilege to also earn an income where we take care of our loved one from home. So we have that time to spend with the kids at home, and we also have that time to generate an income as well from the clothes which they provide to us in order for us to sell them.
The items are sold at major outlets in shopping malls.
From humble beginnings, this massive rose farm is now 50 years old and a premier nursery in South Africa. Ludwig arrived as a 20-year-old rose grower from Germany, full of life, and today he has over 500 different kinds of roses.
So let's talk about the new varieties and the new roses that only you have.
Yes.
How do you get those, and how do you breed a different type of rose?
No, since new roses were being bred usually in the most part of the world, which was from 1800 to now, and some 50,000 different new roses were named and released somewhere in the world. And they're all listed in big books and what have you. And of course, the roses, they grow different in different climates. So a rose that is pretty good in, say, in Europe or in England might not be quite so good in South Africa. Yeah. So you've got to select roses that will do in the climate where they are supposed to grow in the garden. And this is where I looked at it and I said, we need to find roses that have firm petals, that they can last longer in the sun, that they have a certain growing habit, and of course the big change in colors, in flower shape and all that.
What tips do you have for us if we want to have, maybe I'm not going to have a rose garden, but just to keep my bouquet in a vase, how do I maintain it for a longer period of time?
You see, this is the other aspect. The one aspect is to grow roses in your own garden.
Okay.
And very often it's a case of cutting the blooms from the rose in your garden to bring them into your home. And the important aspect is really, it doesn't matter what time of day you do it. When you cut the bloom, you must get it quickly into water so that it can suck up water and not air. And then you can arrange it in a vase to enjoy it for a couple of days. Today, roses for cut flowers are grown in special greenhouses with different growing methods and with proper water and certain products in the water so that they can last much longer in the vase. Today, roses for cut flowers are grown in special greenhouses with different growing methods and with proper water and certain products in the water so that they can last much longer in the vase. You can see that, and that's why the rose as a cut flower has become very popular and is available everywhere in the country now.
So, do you have a favorite rose?
No. I always say this is too difficult because I'm confronted with so many roses every day, and it will change a few times a day, of which is now the best. But I prefer the sort of orange colored roses.
I love those too. Okay, so let's go to the garden because I want to see these red breeds of roses. All I know is a white rose, a red rose, and that's it.
Yes.
We pick the petals at the farm, and then we got the kitchen here, and then we cook them there. And then after that, we take Mr. Lincoln roses or double delight. The roses, we got the smile. And then we do the jam with. We do it here at the farm.
So we have dry buds and dry petals, ne?
Yes.
Please tell us how you get the rose petals to dry up like this. Because if I have roses at home and I try to separate them and create this, it doesn't happen. How do you get them to be like this? To stay with color and just dry up?
Like this one, because it's not lot. It's only a little bit. And then you can take the tissue, you put the tissue there, and then you put the petals, put it in the sun. And they'll be, yes.
So you see, growing roses is not that complicated. All you need is love and lots of patience. Let's talk. Share your holiday snaps with us on our social media pages. It's @Trendz on SABC and use our hashtags. Remember to stay safe. We will be back next week, same time.